Oh, I could look at the slide, but yeah.
Actually, can I get the clicker? It's really hard to follow Mark.
Yeah.
We'll try our best. All right, so to kick things off, can one of you or some of you tell us your favorite AI horror story?
I can kick us off. I have a lot of AI horror stories with my role of doing GTM engineering. I'm often an AI vampire. I'm one of those from earlier. So I have a lot of AI horror stories. The most recent one that I was thinking through is, we launched a new MQL scoring process. It was amazing, right, Baldo? You loved it. It was great. And we were like, oh, wow, this is amazing. All these people are MQLing. It's super fast. Wow, this is great. Turns on some automations. We're doing some flows. Then we come to find out, oh, wait, you know what they're being scored on? This preference center page, and they're being scored on this unsubscribe link that they're clicking. And man, they are just MQLing. And so, AI thought that page was really important because a lot of people are going to it. Lo and behold, it's actually the opposite of what we wanted. So yeah, that was a horror story.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. So to the next question is, so AI has changed a lot of things, like the way we live our life, but also how we do our work. Changed a lot of things that we known and loved, such as speed to lead. So in this age of AI now, there's a concept called speed to context. So I'm kind of curious, at your company, what does speed to context mean? Maybe
you want to start and share your, I think we have some visuals here to help you guys.
Yeah, so I have on the next slide, the way that I'm kind of thinking through it, so speed to lead has always been how fast can we get them to do something automation? Can we turn a demo request into sending them an email instantaneously? Can we do that? That's speed to lead. Can we respond within 5 minutes? Can we do this thing? It was always how fast can you reply and get that lead moving? And fastest outreach wins, but as we have now moved into this AI world, it's not just speed to lead, it's much more speed to context. Can we do the things fast, but can we understand why they're submitting the demo? Did they submit the demo and they recently had a closed loss opportunity 6 months ago? Did they churn a software? Have they added new marketing budget to their team? There's a lot of additional stuff that we need to understand before we just send out, thank you for booking time with us. We're so excited to chat with you. That's fine, but it's really not the context that's needed, whether that is going to the context to send that automated email or the context for the BDR or the AE, whoever's getting that meeting. It's incredibly important to make sure that you're getting that holistic picture. And before, you couldn't do this. It was way too much effort to understand all of those things. But with AI now and kind of structuring things the right way, you can kind of understand a fuller picture of why that person was coming in for a demo or doing that thing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jim,
absolutely.
how about you?
I think at LeanData and what we see with our customers is we kind of started with that, kind of on the left-hand side, here's your lead. It's in the lead record, go for it, right? Yeah. But what a lot of our customers are doing is using our buying group's journey object to sort of track who are the other potential members of the buying group, so you don't end up with sort of like the second lead syndrome, right? A lead comes in, it's to an account that already is assigned or has an active opportunity, so it gets ignored because someone's not going to get paid on getting that person to a meeting. So now being able to sort of map that person into a journey object where SDRs or BDRs can sort of operate and in some cases get compensated to add people to the buying group, et cetera, so that, or for a lot of our customers, they can't even pass a lead by itself or an opportunity with just one contact over to sales. There have to be at least 2 people, or there has to be more context to it. By the way, this is a nice tip for those of you who are trying to justify marketing spend, et cetera. You get a much better connection between the opportunity, the context on the opportunity, the campaigns that they responded to. So this is a nice path to also get better sort of marketing attribution. But it's basically giving context to the reps in a form that they already want to work on, not in the lead object or somewhere else where that's not what they like to do.
How about you, Jane?
Yeah. So I put an illustration here. I think when Trinity was asking us about this question, she was like, think about what playbook you would sketch out on a napkin. This is literally like my sketch, and then Claude brought it to life. But my favorite play right now when it comes to speed to context is we launched a media arm at memoryBlue called the Revenue Wire. So it's a publication it's interviewing everybody in this room and getting your real thoughts and your plays and what's working on a really good high quality site. So we took that and we're creating a custom signal in UserGems that then builds that into our Salesforce and puts it on our call list for our SDRs. So it's instantly creating that loop, so we don't have to ask our SDRs to go look at the revenue wire, look who was interviewed, who could be a fit, do the research. Instead, it's basically connecting all of this, our paid media, our SDR outreach, UserGems, Gemmy, reaching out, of course, and all of that coming together. So really excited about that piece because it perfectly connects the AI and the human component.
What I love about these 3 slides is because when AI changes things so quickly, we don't all have the answers, and I think that's kind of like the premise of this event is just get operators on stage and share how we're thinking about it. Because you guys talking about the same thing, but structured slightly differently, so I love that.
It's pretty insightful for a company that apparently fixes lawnmowers, so that's pretty good. Yeah.
So far today, we talk a lot about new business, but as GTM leaders, we gotta look at entire spectrum pre and post sales. So I wanna switch gear a little bit. So we talk about signals for generating new pipelines, using AI to generate new opportunities, but how about open ops? And then expansion and renewal, and sometimes it's not always the first thing that comes to our minds when we think about AI unlocking GTM. So this speed to context change when you're protecting revenue versus creating it. Can you share a little bit?
Yeah.
Austin?
Yeah, I can dive in. I think I'm super passionate about our customers. I'm super passionate about making sure our customers are happy, making sure they're using our platform, and they're getting the best experience. And obviously with that comes renewals and expansion and a lot of different motions. And I think everybody usually thinks about AI and pipeline generation as net new, brand new, shiny new thing. And I want to grab all the signals from these random third-party providers that are doing these other things, and I'll bring all that in. And that's great, that's good, but why wouldn't you try to expand your customers where you have first-party data? These people are logging into your platform, they are answering your emails, they're unsubscribing from your emails, they're going to your events. You have all of this information that you are just I hope a BDR looks at that and maybe we can expand them, or the AM team should do something with that. And I think that's where I think the context element often comes in, is you can now understand and put things together and wait and prioritize all kinds of stuff for your expansion motion that you previously couldn't do. An AM was probably looking at when 120 days out from renewal, we need to make sure that we have this thing, that thing, and then we're gonna go and look in the product. It's really hard to do that. I'm gonna go try to figure out how to log in the admin. And all of that type of stuff has become significantly easier to do with AI. And it allows, when you're talking about pipeline, why would you not go and try to get pipeline from a customer that you know everything about and that you've wined and dined many times versus someone you have no idea, but they visited your website from a website signal, and you're oh, that's cool, they're Nike, but they visit our website. It's completely hard and much harder to do. So I'm a massive proponent for figuring out the motion on how you can use signals for expansion and renewal, and understand when they're evaluating competitors because their usage has dropped and nobody's logged into your platform for 90 days. That's a little worrisome. Those are things that you can start using to activate and protect your revenue you have.
Yeah. Very similar for me. I think it's all about connecting those data points and getting it in front of the right people as fast as possible. It's internal, getting in front of the right person at the right time, right, the right way. But one of my favorite plays is with G2. You can create another custom signal in UserGems that then goes to the person. So let's say they're on your site. If they're on G2 but looking at your page, why are they looking at your page if they're your existing customer? So sending that signal to the AM. You can also upgrade and get different features with G2, but then you unlock things like going on your competitor page and evaluating you off-site. So sending that signal directly to the team. And then little things that we should all be doing, right? If you're, depending on what page people are looking at on your website, oh, they might be interested in this for an upsell or this for a cross-sell. Yeah. So making sure you're just sharing all of that information as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think for us at LeanData, our customers really led us here. But pretty close to 100% of our customers buy us for the inbound, customer acquisition, ABM. It's all at that sort of new customer acquisition sorts of use cases. And then a couple of years ago, we sort of realized we had close to 100 customers doing case routing, right? So we have customers who had just gone oh, this is my Swiss Army knife to get things done in my organization where I don't have to go to IT. I don't even have to go to Salesforce administration. I can just be agile and build out the workflows I need to have happen. And so we had to catch up with them to put together a solution value framework of use cases across customer acquisition, across sort of onboarding and implementation, to renewal, to upsell, et cetera. And at our customer advisory board a couple of months ago, in these large organizations, talking about how do we deal with, marketing is sending out emails, sales is sending out emails, customer success is doing that, product is doing that. Help us figure that out. And one of our top customers, the guy who runs AI transformation at Adobe, said, like, no, you guys are the ones on the wall. You're on the wall between sales and marketing. And it was almost like a Few Good Men kind of a moment, like, we need you on that wall. We want you on that wall. And by the way, there's another wall between sales and customer success, and maybe another, and it goes on and on. So for us, like, bridging those gaps is super important because it all comes back to the buyer experience, the customer experience, right? If you're trying to push them and sell them to get them to come to an event or to buy more of your product, at the same time they have a severity 1 case with your support team, is not gonna look good.
Yeah, marrying all of that data, I think it's important. Like you have, your CSMs are maybe having conversations before your AMs are having conversations. You can pull all of that information. You can run it against your help center tickets. You can do all of that type of information. Like for an easy example for Sendoso is, Sendoso gets sent all kinds of stuff all over the place, and oftentimes we're used in ABM for a little bit, and then, on their second meeting when they became a new customer, they mentioned that they go to events like every other tech company, but they never use us for events. So like we can pull that in the recordings, we can pull that up, we can pull that with some case studies that are examples of that, and pulling that all together is incredibly important for when we think about how do we move the expansion needle.
I think one of the roundtables that I moderated earlier, we were talking about like how AI kind of raised the expectations of your prospects to your team. And we were just talking from the buyers expecting that the AE should come to the meetings completely prepared and ready to go like deeper. And I think that level of expectations raise a lot more now for customers because I've been your customer for a long time. I give you all of this information. So as a marketing, I'm thinking that we're sitting on so much data that we own, like the events, even like gifting as well, all that stuff. Like why don't we bring it together and surface it to our team so that we become a better partner to our customers? So I think that's...
Yeah, I think one of the ones we see a lot, and I talk to CMOs of really large organizations, and right now, one of the things that's working for them is events, right? Everybody's spending on events, events are back, you get somebody's attention, like in person, right? Just like this. And the thing that they are really, really worried about and concerned about is all the lead follow-up, right? And so that stuff, it takes a few days, we upload it into the system, and then we try to match it and see what goes, make sure it goes to the right person, and then who contacts the customer who had a great demo and talked to the person at the conference? An SDR who doesn't know anything about what's going on. So, in our case, we've got, John over here can give you a QR code, right? And you can talk to the same person who gave you the demo and book a meeting, click that link and book a meeting directly. And that's the kind of stuff for your CMOs. They're trying to make sure they're getting ROI, because it's a big expense. And executive leadership is looking at the amount of money they're spending on those events.
Got to justify it.
You just stressed me out.
Buy UserGems.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I was thinking about earlier when it comes to speed to lead and speed to context, I think we all had this argument, a year, maybe hopefully longer than that ago, was like, should a BDR take the call and then should an AE take the call? And are they going to answer the same questions? Like, I don't know if you've had those calls, but I have been on the AE call and I was like, I just answered these questions to BDR last week. Why do you have no context for any of this information? All of that type of pass forward should be coming forward in all of this type of stuff. And it's just like, speed to lead is just like doing things fast. Speed to context is doing things smarter.
Good one, good sound bites. So I know that we hear a lot of comments about which parts of our workflows or tasks we should keep human. But I want to kind of flip the scripts a little bit. What is one workflow where you think that AI should own completely and you bet your pipeline on it?
I bet my pipeline typically on the AI brief around the demo request. And so up here you can kind of see the process. That's kind of the typical flow for a demo request that comes through at Sendoso. I think classic, demo submitted, prospect fills it out, does all the cool things, a ticket gets created somewhere and does stuff. The classic enrichment is always happening. We've been doing this for years. What is the title? What is the company? Who should it go to? The tech stack? Where's their HQ? Some of those types of things that you're getting from wherever place. And then the context is Did they have an open and closed loss opportunity recently? Who else is on the buying committee here? Let's map the buying committee out. Who's their boss? Who's underneath them? Who are they probably going to work with? Sendoso isn't a typical like one person's going to buy it and only they're going to log into that platform forever. Who are the people that, let's say we close them tomorrow, who are the other people that are going to need to be involved in this deal? So we do a ton of that enrichment. Have those people been on deals? Are they previous champions of us at other companies? Are they doing those types of things? Then we match it inside of with titles and use cases. If you know your buyers, you know what they typically buy for. If it's a field marketer buying Sendoso, they're probably doing it to send swag to events or do some event fulfillment enrichment. So then matching that to use cases. And then, the classic manager IC, who's their manager, previous Sendoso, all that type of information we try to pull together from a context perspective. And then all this is delivered to our BDR or AE taking that call in Salesforce fields that are populated and a rep notification to Slack based off when the meetings happen. Is it today? Is it in a week or whatever? So when they walk into the call, they know that they submitted the demo, but that rep should never say, how can I help you? What should we do? Like, I have no idea what brought you here. Like, have you heard of Sendoso before? Like, that should never happen, where like I've been on many calls where the AE's like, what's cool? What's up? And I'm like, come on, you know what I'm here for, type situation. And so that's one of those that I'll bet it on.
Awesome. Jane, how about you?
Yeah, so I feel like if you're not already focused on using AI for research and admin in 2026, it's sad. Like we have to at this point because there's so much value. I'll give a few specific examples because no one wants to just hear high level, right? Like one with the UserGems Chrome extension. That does all of the research for my team. My team meaning like SDRs and AEs. So they don't have to spend hours and hours researching. So it takes about 90%, I'm rough estimating here, of the research and the admin off their plate. So one thing is with the research from UserGems, then the Chrome extension. The second is we have all of our call recordings automatically filling in data in Salesforce now, so that admin, the bane of every salesperson's existence, and then marketer's existence, lack of that being filled in, that's solved. So sales is happy, less time in Salesforce, marketing's happy, it's the correct information updated in Salesforce. So reducing that again by another 90%. Then you can see on the bottom here, there's so much more time to be on the phones. Mark just said something that I wrote down. I was like, this is genius. I'm going to make a shirt. It's like the phone is
like
the
an ATM.
You push
the button,
ATM. You
the
push
money
the buttons, the money
out.
comes out. Like that's where we want our team, especially like memoryBlue, we excel at phone calls. Our team gets to spend more time on the phone now because the research and the admin is 90% reduced. So that's huge. Another one is if you're going to events, like we're saying here, everyone's using events more because we're craving that human interaction. That you can do this, especially if you connect UserGems, you connect now, Salesforce, et cetera, to Claude, you can get, okay, this is the reg list for the show we're going to, overlapping who are your past clients, who are your existing opportunities. That's all done for you. You give it to your team who's going to the show, and that's research and admin that you don't have to rely on them to do manually because they won't do it. So.
All right, Jim?
Yeah. It's okay, I'll switch it up and just talk about a customer use case because I think a lot of what we get asked about is sort of when and how do we deploy agents. And there's a lot more interest now in moving from agents that are internal and supporting research and helping us be productive to agents that are doing work with customers, that are driving pipeline forward, that are reducing costs, things like that. So this is an example from Uber for Business. They have 4 this is as of a couple of months ago, agents that they have deployed. So they've used Agentforce, they've used some other tools to do that, and they look for those cases where it's very high volume and it's a very repetitive task. And then a lot depends on like what are the stakes, what is the opportunity, et cetera. So one of these is just doing onboarding, and I'll explain more about that one in a second. They have another one that is just doing outbound and trying to get people to engage, and then it gets picked up by a human. Education market is one where they don't have assigned accounts. So let's throw an agent at it. Like, let's let it run. The stakes aren't as low, aren't as high, we're not gonna get in trouble, like if we say something wrong, whatever else. And then increasingly they're doing inbound for the kind of lowest intent, lowest quality sort of deals in there. But on the onboarding one, if we go to the next slide, the agent operates in a way that is connected with the deterministic processes that we help them run. So somebody's doing customer sign up for Uber for Business, you're gonna get an account, so you can give people Uber vouchers to come to this event or whatever else. And if you get stuck on your credit card or something else happens, the agent knows enough to say like, oh, let me see who your onboarding specialist is. Let me show you their calendar, and you can book a meeting with the human so you can move forward. And then we'll move you back into the agent. But it's finding those places where the agent needs to tap out and get to a human to move the process forward, which I think is a really smart way to think about, get very specific about the inputs, the outputs, the triggers of when to start, when to stop, and what data you need, and make sure that data is really clean and good. And so for them, they've seen just through doing this like 23% reduction in cost, 28%, and these are billions of dollars, right, at Uber for Business. It is a big, big operation. 28% increase in their outreach capacity, 22% uplift in revenue. They've sort of hit the jackpot in terms of cost savings plus revenue growth. So find those spots, right, and make it work. And we have some little handouts in the back if you want that sort of help with some of that criteria, figuring out when might I be able to sort of trust something to be external and to customers.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing the stories, guys. All right. And that is a wrap for our panel.
Thank you.